Hi, everyone. Welcome to MEDENT Minutes, the podcast that explores EHR optimization and how practices can excel in value-based care. I'm Megan Chapman, the Director of Marketing and Communications here at MEDENT, and today I am joined by my colleagues John Huntley and Julie Mach as we discuss the benefits of online support. John and Julie, thank you both for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So before we get started, do you think you both could just tell us a little bit about your background here at MEDENT? I thought we could talk about how long you've been working with MEDENT and just what your roles are.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. This is John Huntley. I've been with MEDENT for 31 years. I started forever ago in data input, and then became a service technician on the road, and now I run the technical support department for MEDENT.
And I've been with MEDENT for 26 years. I actually have worked with the MEDENT software for 31 years, in some of those years in an office setting. So I've worked with MEDENT since MEDENT version 1. And I have been in support for 26 years. And now I'm a team leader in support and work on programming projects and oversee questions and problems in support.
Wow, so definitely very experienced. You guys have been around for a really long time with MEDENT, so I know you both would agree probably that our online support feature is really beneficial for clients, and I also know that each of you kind of offers a unique perspective on it. So I just wanted to start with John and say, can you tell me how support requests work and just why they're so valuable?
Sure. Well, first of all, you can go to our website at medent.com and then go to the support page, and there is an option there to submit a support request on that web page. And as far as the advantages to them is, for starters, it's probably the quickest way to submit a support request. Our receptionists do a great job getting to phone calls as quickly as they can, but there's always the possibility that you're going to end up on hold for a little bit. So with the online support requests, you're able to get your issue reported as quickly as possible, and that's probably the biggest advantage right there. From a hardware perspective, it's great. The online support requests are great because the client's able to explain the issue in detail and give us, any errors that they may have in there word for word, which is very important. And also they can add in screenshots through a tool that allows them to upload images into that actual support request, and they don't need to worry about if there's PHI in that support request because it's all encrypted and stays within our system. So as far as that's concerned, that's probably one of the best things about it from a hardware standpoint, is that we're able to get a lot of information that helps us troubleshoot quickly.
Sure. And I mean, I think it's important to point out that we as a company use MEDENT. That's how we do everything within our own system. So could you just explain a little bit about how that process works, about, helping people realize that when they do submit the support request, it's coming into us as a triage? Can you explain a little bit about that portion?
Sure. So when they submit the support request on the website, it automatically creates a triage within our support system. And what we do is we have lists for each department, whether they be EMR, technical support, billing support. All these different areas have their own lists, and whatever they select in there as far as the area that the problem is in, it'll go directly to our list without any manual intervention by anyone. So that's another thing that just speeds up the process. There's no one in between routing these triages. They just automatically get added to our system. And like you said, we use MEDENT on a daily basis to manage our support lists. We use the triages. We go through. They're coded, normal, priority, urgent, based on the urgency of the issue, and so that's a great way for us to test MEDENT while we're also using it and using it for our management software.
Yeah, and so just give me an example of like some triages that you would receive in your department. I know you work in hardware support. So what kind of things do you guys see or cover on like a regular basis within online support requests?
Well, online support requests, we basically every call that we take could start as an online support request. And if there's a situation where a conversation is needed, then we would make a phone call. We now have the ability for the clients to put in a preference, whether they would like a phone call back or an email back. We understand that people are busy, and sometimes you just would rather have an answer via email, and that's great. So that option is there as well. But once that call comes in, it could be on any number of items. We cover in technical support. We cover faxing, server issues, networking issues, PC issues, printer issues, any type of peripheral. And then we even venture into the EMR area, some things that are more of a technical nature, our department will handle. And as far as a good example of something that I see a lot via the online support requests are when someone wants to change an inbound fax user, where the faxes are coming into, what holding tank they're coming into. Let's say someone was reassigned to another department, and so they want to assign those faxes to come into somebody else. Then at that point, it's as simple as just submitting that online support request, letting us know who the new user is that needs to be configured there, and we can take that information, get it set up, and then either send you an email, give you a quick call, and let you know, hey, you're all set. And so it works great for configuration issues like that, where that simple information can be relayed, and then we can take care of the issue and get back to them. But it also works great for more complicated issues as well. It's just because, like I said, it's the fastest way to get a support request in usually, and it's going to hit the list right away as soon as you hit submit, and we're going to be able to see it and get back to you.
And the more details, the better, right? I mean, I know sometimes we've had people who are concerned about, like you said, PHI, how secure is this? How much information can I include here? But our online support forms, they're HIPAA compliant, they're secure, they're encrypted. So you really can and should include as much detail as possible in these online requests. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. That's going to speed up the process more than anything, is us getting excellent information. Just to run down a list of things that just as a reminder of things to put in these online support requests. You want to start off with a detailed description of the issue. That's going to give us an idea of what's going on. And then what's always good is, especially for my department, is recreation steps from the main MEDENT menu. All the way up, every click for click, up to the point where you're encountering the issue or the error. And I say especially with my department, because there are some issues that could be technical in nature, but they apply to EMR screens that the EMR department is more knowledgeable on, but it's a technical issue. So it's one of those things where it's a bit of a crossover call. And so us having excellent click-by-click recreation steps in those messages is key. And that gets us right to the root of the issue. As far as more information, good things to note in there is when the issue started happening. That will give us an idea of, do we need to look at, okay, was an update done recently? If they all of a sudden started having an issue today, let's go back and see, hey, did they get an update this morning? Could there be something there? So that's always good to know when the issue started happening. And then finally, very important to know, is it happening to one user? Is it happening to multiple users? Is it happening to one office or multiple offices or the entire practice? So those are really key pieces of information that will allow us to go down the right troubleshooting path, which is ultimately going to allow us to get the problem corrected as quickly as possible.
Great. And, Julie, I want to talk to you here about, in addition to these online support requests, we also have a lot of online support forms as well that are available. And I believe you help monitor those requests that we receive. And I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about some of those forms and, why they're so helpful for, your department.
Yes, great, Megan. Specifically the deactivate doctor form and the new provider request form, those are our two most popular online forms. They really help streamline the process, specifically with adding a new provider. All the information gets typed into the form. There are questions that have to be answered in order for the form to be successfully sent over to support. And it just ensures that the person that on our end that's going to be adding that new provider for our clients has accurate spelling, NPI numbers are legible, we can read everything and everything gets input in the system correctly.
Yeah,
The
I was just
handwritten
going to say.
forms of years back just had too many typos. We saw too many typos with them. And
Yeah.
the process just is so much faster. We know what modules they want turned on. We just know everything that they need right away, and we can get them added quickly. Same
Yeah,
with the
for sure.
deactivate. We know the date that the provider's leaving. There's just no questions. It's all right there. We can go back to it, and it's typed nice and legible, and it just makes everything easier for both the client and support.
Absolutely. And are there some other examples of requests that you might see as far as like troubleshooting goes? I know you work a lot with things like billing and insurance. Is there additional like really helpful information that your department looks for in some of these requests that we get?
Well, we really do like the online billing rules request. It gives us more of an idea of what the client is looking for with the billing rule, because the billing rules are kind of new programming in MEDENT. So it gives us the opportunity to test out the rule in our test environment first before we help the client create that rule on their live system. So we really are trying to encourage the clients to use that if they need a new billing rule created. There is one that the ECS department gets for adding new insurances. We like that online request as well. It gives them all the information they need to add a new insurance for the practice.
Great. And then I did want to also point out another new feature that we've just kind of implemented in the past few months. And John, I believe you were pretty helpful in getting this, up and running. But we now have where if there's like an outspread, or I should say a widespread issue, like an outage or something of that nature, on top of that support request form, I believe we now have in red type some kind of alert that pops up to let folks know. Can you talk a little bit about that, John, and just, when people should be looking to this area for updates like that?
Yeah, sure. That's a big addition for us that we made, because that was one of the items that was suggested most by our clients was when there is some type of widespread issue, whether it be an internet outage with our internet service provider that is affecting the Meta Cloud or something like that, something a bit more widespread where we need to reach out to a lot of clients and communicate with them. They wanted to see some type of communication, something to let them know, yes, we're having a problem, and here's when it started happening, and we are working on the issue, and that's something that was requested quite a bit, and so we developed a method protocol within in-house here that where we can identify when a problem is happening and immediately get it on the website, and it goes right there, like you said, above that support form. So when you're going to fill out an online support form, definitely take a look and make sure there isn't some type of banner there explaining the issue that you're having. So it's a situation where, in that case, if you're having trouble connecting to MEDENT, we've got the message up stating that we know there's an issue, we know there's a network or connectivity issue, and we are working on it, then you really don't even need to send in the support request, because we'll populate that message with a new updated message when it's been fixed, or it will just simply be removed, and then you'll know you're good to go. And if you are still having an issue at that point, then that's when you'd want to go ahead and submit a request and get us on the issue.
Yeah, definitely, because obviously we can get kind of inundated with calls and requests in those situations, and it can be a little bit overwhelming on our end. So I think that the more clients who know that this is where we're going to be starting to post alerts of that nature, and that know that they don't have to necessarily send in a request because it is a widespread issue. We are aware and we are working on it. I think that kind of goes a long way for
Yeah,
our own employees.
right. And also for our clients too, because the thing is when we're getting inundated with those calls, we need to reach back out, and we can't just leave calls not replied to. So we're taking time reaching out to everyone to explain what happened when we could have been taking other calls that are actually a current issue. So the fact that we're able to communicate with everyone with a message like that and limit the number of calls that are coming in, because they have the answer they're looking for right when they go to the support request form, that just helps us get through the issue, get it corrected quicker, and then get right on to other issues that clients are having.
Yeah, and then one other thing I did want to mention that I think is important too is that all of our support is in-house. We don't outsource any of our support. We're all in-house. We all work with MEDENT, and I think that's something that's kind of unique to MEDENT. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but I do think that's a big benefit, to
I agree.
working with MEDENT, is that all of our employees work with it, and we're all
Absolutely.
in-house. So I think that's pretty nice too.
Absolutely.
Now, I think we've covered quite a bit, but before I let you guys go, is there any other general advice you have for clients who need support? And are there maybe any troubleshooting tips or tricks that folks can try before they reach out? I know sometimes in hardware, and this is kind of the running IT joke, I think, all over is, did you try to restart your computer? I don't know, John, if you would agree with
Yeah, I,
with
I
something
agree
like that.
completely. I had that jotted down as a note to bring up, that would be my biggest number one tip. You'd be shocked at how many Windows operating system issues are simply corrected by a restart. Just going to the start button, selecting restart, not shutdown, but restart. And that will reboot the computer. And like you said, the old saying, when in doubt, reboot. It really is an old saying for a reason.
Yeah.
Um, but the only other thing I can think of as far as a tip or trick would be, and this is something I do for myself, is with bookmarks for in your browser, in your internet browser. I have folders and bookmarks set up for different areas in the manual that I know I need to reference repeatedly, and that helps me get to those quicker. But that would apply to your online support request form. You could go to that page, bookmark it, so you have one-click access to the support form, and it's just going to speed up the process that much more.
Oh,
Yeah, I
excellent.
agree with John. He's the one that gave me that tip myself, and I love it.
Awesome, great. And then Julie, was there anything else that you wanted to add? Any other, advice before we go here?
I'm just going to piggyback on what John said as far as the online support request. The more information you put, the better, specifically with posting requests. If we already have the account number, the data service, the CPT code, whatever specific information is related to the error or the problem you're having, it gives us a head start, and we can get logged in first and look at the example before we even contact you. Most likely we'll already have the answer for you when we call you back.
Great. And then I think my last point here I want to make is these forms can also be used for feedback. Am I right? If somebody has a specific
Yeah,
idea or request on an improvement, I think these forms can be used for something like that as well. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. These aren't just for reporting errors. If you have a suggestion that you'd like to bring up and hopefully have something submitted to to programming as an enhancement for the MEDENT program, a great way to communicate that. It's easy for the client to do it, and they can get all the detail that they want about that suggestion in that support request form without the concern that is something getting lost in translation. Yeah, like you said, I think it's a great tool for that as well.
I
Great.
agree.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I think, I certainly learned a lot, and hopefully our clients, hopefully we'll see a lot more online support requests come through. And yeah, I just hope everyone has a great day.
Great.
Thanks
Thank
too
you.
much.